All
Yeah.
right, let's move on to another segment here, giving out our own NBA awards. We know the classic NBA awards, MVP, Rookie of the Year. Those have already all been given out. But now here we have our we wanted to give out some custom NBA awards that are maybe more creative, maybe things that should be implemented that have not been. So, no, I don't know about you. I have 3 awards to give out. How many do you have?
I have 5. You want me to go first?
All right, you have more than me. Why don't you go first?
All right, we'll go the award that is the player that needs more recognition. And this is Tyrese Halliburton. He averaged about 19 and 10 since joining the Pacers midseason. He was the big piece of the Sabonis trade. I remember me and you were big fans of his game at Iowa State, and he definitely should have been drafted by the Knicks. But instead, we took a dunking power forward, like my least favorite thing in the draft, besides like a wing that can't shoot or something like that. But Halliburton looks like he's going to be an all-star next year, potentially in the East. I feel like he'll become better than Darius Garland, and I like Darius Garland a lot. And he's probably better than RJ Barrett right now on our Knicks. I mean, 19 and 10, and he shoots 41% from three on like 6 attempts with an ugly form. And he's been doing that ever since he came into the league. And on top of that, he's a really good defender. He gets a lot of steals and he knows how to play the passing lane. So he looks like he'll be a prime player for the Pacers moving forward. Congrats to them on I mean, not really congrats to them because they're really bad, but at least they got a nice piece back for Sabonis, who maybe has a higher ceiling than Sabonis. Who knows? So I think he deserves more recognition. Nobody's talking about him because he's on the small market Indiana Pacers. They're not a sexy team, but in my book, he deserves some credit.
Okay, you'll think he'll be an all star next year.
I think he definitely could be if he averages 20 and 10 or something like that. 22 and
All right.
10, something like that. He could do that easily.
Yeah, that'll be really sad if he's an all star and the Knicks just didn't take
Oh
him
yeah.
like
I mean,
idiots.
the Pistons could have taken him. They took Killian Hayes too. They kind of fumbled it too. How
Oh
nice
yeah,
would have
we
been a
were we were
Cade?
celebrating that.
It could have been nice a Cade and a Tyrese backcourt. That would have been really good. Wow.
My first award here is gonna be the Skip Bayless Award for player that spends too much time on Twitter and social media, and that this year I am awarding to Ja Morant of the Memphis Grizzlies, the Skip Bayless recipient. Because yeah, this guy he just tweets after every single game, and I think Noah, we find out why by observing Ja, we find out why LeBron and Kobe and all these all time great players never went on social media or tweeted anything during the postseason. Just because you're gonna get clowned and you're gonna get trolled if you get eliminated, and you've already dug yourself this hole of having to tweet every single game, which is what Ja did. So after he got eliminated, I saw he was just spamming tweets, like trying to be more active and like bury the fact that everybody was responding to him, calling his team bad and calling him bad for I mean the Grizzlies, they were horrible in the playoffs. They are no, they
Well,
actually
they won a round. Should have
yeah
lost round one.
they should have
I,
lost. They
in
they
my
they
book,
kept
they're
coming back down
horrible.
20.
In my book, they're horrible.
But I mean yeah, they were the number 2 seed. I mean theoretically they should have
Yeah, they had
gone
a
much
better record than
farther.
the Warriors. Yeah.
So yeah, the Skip Bayless Award goes to Ja. I could have went a little bit different. I could have went to Draymond. I could have went to Patrick Beverly, who's been all over the media recently.
Maybe even LeBron. I mean, remember he said April Fool's him out for the season, or whatever, and then he actually was out for the season. He ended up sitting
Yeah.
out, but at least it's LeBron. I mean, we can't really hate on him, I guess, if he always wins championships and does stuff. But it's funny that you say about Ja Will, because I remember him tweeting like a year ago, like if everything didn't run through social media, I would have deleted everything by now. Well, guess what? You're playing into
Yeah,
the
what happened to
hands of
that?
fans. You're playing into the middle schoolers and high schoolers are gonna call like Desmond Bain a plumber and stuff, and like your team is
Yeah,
terrible,
or the
just making fun of you.
analysts on
Yeah, the
ESPN.
analyst, like JJ Redick's gonna call you out or something. Kendrick Perkins.
All right, why don't you go next?
This is a two-player award, kind of. It's just most disappointing player. And I guess you can't really fault Dame for this because he's one of the recipients of it, but he was hurt for most of the year. We all thought Portland would probably make the playoffs like they usually do. They sold their whole team at the deadline, and Dame was now just representing his team in the lottery, which got the seventh pick, and they traded his boy CJ. Their team's horrible. And he was hurt for most of the year and had a really bad year before he got hurt. So he's one of the recipients, but I'm not going to put all the blame on him because of the injury and his team giving up early. But Julius Randle averaging 20 and 10, every percentage, all of his stats going down across the board after the second team All NBA campaign last year, which we saw. That was awesome. And he basically went back to himself, what he was on the Lakers, just a solid player, but not an all-star, not really a great player. And he was disappointing. We thought the Knicks would be better than Boston this year and Toronto. I don't think either of us had either of those teams making the playoffs, but they did. And now look at Boston in the East Finals with their so-called top five player, Jason Tatum. So, Julius Randle, screw you. You were very disappointing.
Yeah, wow. I think I have a pretty similar award here to that. I'm going to go with my Team Cancer Award for this season, and it's going to be a co-award. I'm going to give one out to Julius Randle for down the stretch. It seemed like he was very unhappy, creating turmoil in the Knicks locker room. There was all kinds of media pressure on him and all kinds of comments that he made towards the Knicks and towards his teammates that definitely were not going to be well received by the New York media or by his own team. It's going to cause another distraction and another problem for the Knicks, who definitely had a dysfunctional season after a great year, an overachieving year last year.
Yeah.
So this year definitely was a step back for them. Part of that was Randall's fault for the dysfunction that he caused. And then my other one is going to be the most obvious of all, Russell Westbrook. Probably the ultimate team cancer this season.
Yeah, he sucks. And he was fighting fans, basically.
Yeah, so he derailed the Lakers. I mean, their whole team was a mess this year. LeBron got hurt. AD got hurt. So it kind of was just left to him to deal with everything as the last best player, and it was a flop. So
yeah, their team was
both
really
the coasts,
bad.
LA and New York, getting the team cancer award this year from me.
All right, well, my third award, before I get into the funny ones, which we did not hear on the fake first episode on Friday, so we'll get to those after this. This is the award, the trade I wish happened, but unfortunately didn't. And I just want De'Aaron Fox to go to a different team. I want them to get him out of Sacramento. But instead, the Kings are like, oh, you know what? Maybe we should actually give this guy another star. I love the Fox Halliburton pairing in the backcourt. I'm not really sure how Sabonis really fits with them that well. They trade for him, obviously, but I want to see Fox get traded to the Knicks, maybe the Heat, maybe a team that needs a guard. I wanted to see him on a contender, and he unfortunately didn't get traded, so I would have loved to see him in a new uniform. It just didn't happen, though.
Yeah, wow. Kind of a surprise there. I thought you would go with somebody maybe like Damian Lillard, one of your favorite players.
He was hurt, though. That was the problem. Yeah. He maybe would have gotten traded if he wasn't hurt, because they sold the whole team at the deadline there, but...
Yeah, I feel like Dame, definitely one of the most shocking non-moves of the year. I feel like it was almost like guaranteed he was going to get traded.
Yeah, after all those rumors, yeah. Are you out of awards or no?
No, I have one left.
All right, read it, and I'll go with my funny ones.
It is, my final award is going to be the New York Mets Award.
What?
For a team that had one terrible half of the season and one great half of the season.
Who's
and that's
that?
what it seems like the Mets do every single year. Usually they have an amazing first half and a meltdown in the second half. The team I'm giving it to was the exact opposite, which is much better. The Boston Celtics, we talked about them at the beginning of the show. They were really looking like a team that, like I predicted, was going to need to rebuild in the first half of the year. They were below 500 at the All-Star break. Did not look like a team that was playing together. They were, I think, one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA in the first half, and then in the second half, they were the best defensive team in the NBA. So they really flipped a switch. Something happened. Udoka, the head coach, credit to him, probably a Coach of the Year candidate. They get the New York Mets award for only putting together one great half of the year. It turned out that it benefited them, and now they're in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay. So that's I kind of agree with that. That's a funny award. I mean, speaking of the Mets, they just won today in Colorado, taking 2 out of 3 without any of their good pitchers pitching. So we'll see if they continue that success. And yeah, Boston, we all thought they were gonna stink, and now they're in the East Finals. Hopefully we think the Heat are gonna win. We'll see if that comes true. But now for my final 2 awards, I'll read one. This is the funny. This is where it gets funny. Best Actor award, and it's going to no other than Ben Simmons. He pretty much
All right,
acted
that's
in,
good.
he did nothing. This dude, Ben Simmons, where his team was wearing all black in the playoffs, all black shooting shirts, he decides to wear bright orange on the bench with glasses to stick out. This guy claimed he was depressed. I'm sorry. This guy's the weakest mentally, the mentally weakest athlete I've ever seen in my life. Sat out the whole year. They claimed he was going to play Game 3 when they're down 2-0. No, he's not playing Game 3. Game 4, is he going to play? They claim he's going to play. They need him. They're down 3-0. Oh no, Ben's going to sit out once again. And Ben cried the whole season and wore bright colors and secured money from the Nets and Sixers. And will he even play next season? I don't know what will happen with Ben Simmons, but he definitely put on a show. Best Actor award.
Yeah, wow, an Academy Award. I want to play this clip. It's from Stephen A. We didn't get to play it. It was going to be a topic on Friday's show about Ben Simmons, but I just want to hear what Stephen A. had to say because I think it's hilarious.
Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons might also be the weakest, most pathetic excuse for a professional athlete we have ever seen in not just American history, but the history of sports. I can't think
American history
of a professional athlete that has come across more
pathetic than this man. All right, what do you think about that? Do you think he's the most pathetic athlete in the history of sports?
Yes. That's why he won Best Actor.
Okay.
Come on, we never seen this from an athlete just quit for a whole year and just hide. He hid from everything the whole year. Dodged every media session. He dodged literally everything except for his paycheck for the whole year.
It really is bad that the Nets and the Sixers both lost the trade.
Yeah, neither of them made it out of the second round. All right, well, the final award is it's one of Ben Simmons' teammates, the Drama Queen Award, Kyrie Irving. Ben Simmons was more of an actor. This is Kyrie Irving's the Drama Queen. He didn't get vaccinated, and he played half the season, and they thought they were going to win a championship. Him and Kevin Durant. He also didn't show up to a lot of media sessions the past 2 years, and he was just a whole big distraction. Him and Nash and KD, they were never on the same page truly all year. And everyone learned, I mean, we already knew this. You can't just show up in the playoffs without having any chemistry and not doing anything and expect to win. And he was just a drama queen all season. And Stephen A. probably screamed at him many times on First Take. We fortunately don't have any clips of those. But Ben Simmons and Kyrie Irving, those are probably the 2 biggest stories of the entire basketball season, if we're being honest. That's why they win Best Actor and then Drama Queen.
Yeah.